I grew up in the backwoods of Louisiana between Alaska, Texas, and Louisiana. And in Louisiana, they have a saying that says, just back your ears and do it.
Obviously, you've accomplished so much in Toastmasters in a short period of 10 years. You've done a lot. It's really impressive looking at it all. What has been your inspiration?
It's really learning new things and meeting new people. If you don't experience that angst or the anxiety of the speaking opportunity or whatever project you're working on, you're not growing from it.
What have been some of the struggles that you've experienced and the victories?
It is bursting through that self-imposed veil that we put on, which says, oh, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not ready. Oh, I think I'll pass. And it's really pushing through that and tearing through it literally sometimes and still doing it.
You were talking about your winning mindset or what helps you to build a winning mindset.
Without it, I couldn't be who I am today or who I'm supposed to be tomorrow.
Toast and Tea, where we have all the tea, tips, and stories, here to inspire you. Hosted by Little Norway's Toastmasters.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast Toast and Tea. I'm the host for today's podcast. My name is Shantia Crowley, and today we have a guest with us, Melissa Jean. Like many Alaskans, Melissa Jean enjoys spending time outdoors, exploring the state's beautiful landscape. Her Toastmasters journey began in 2014 when she became an Untwisted Tongues Toastmaster member. Little did she know the leadership and speaking confidence she gained through Toastmasters would lead her through a labyrinth of previously unimaginable public speaking events. Her leadership odyssey began when a PQD tapped her shoulder and said, "You're ready to lead." Step forward as a conference co-chair. Melissa has served as club president, VPE, VPM, treasurer, Area 62 director, Division E director, club growth director, and program quality director. She's completed dynamic leadership, innovative planning, and engaging humor pathways. Motivational strategies and visionary communications are her current paths. Woo! Melissa, you have a stack of accomplishments under your belt. From the sound of it, it sounds like you've done everything.
Oh, not quite everything.
So we would love to know what has kept you in Toastmasters for 10 years and what's keeping you in Toastmasters today?
Quite honestly, it is the fact that I'm always learning. That's truly what it's about. I may think that the presentation I give today is absolutely fabulous. And then I receive feedback from somebody new who says, oh, well, have you thought about doing it this way? Or I really liked when you did this. And if you tweak it just a little bit, I think you'll get an even greater impact. That, along with the ability and the option and the privilege to help other people also succeed, is truly why I'm still in Toastmasters.
It's been a very similar experience for me. I love learning. I love studying. So Toastmasters was the perfect program for me to join. So can you tell us what has been your relationship to public speaking prior to Toastmasters and perhaps what your relationship to public speaking now?
Before Toastmasters, I had experience as an instructor, meaning I taught adults mainly how to work on computers. You might not remember the days before modems where everybody had literally a standalone PC, and they were learning Windows and Word and things like that. That's when I started teaching computers. And even though I was in front of the classroom every day, I just didn't feel like I was a very confident presenter. I mean, I could get up and give the information and give it in a way that people would easily understand. But if I was asked to give a speech, I would just start getting nerves, and it was in my mind somehow different. Demonstrating in my mind, I guess, was easier than giving a speech. Hence why it took me 20 years to join Toastmasters, from the first time someone said, hey, you should join Toastmasters, to when I actually stepped into a meeting. And there was a second part to the question I don't remember. Would you ask the second part, please?
Well, what's your relationship to public speaking now?
Oh, I get the opportunity to present for my employer. In fact, on Thursday, I am flying to Homer, Alaska, to participate in a Homer Tech Night where a group of employees are coming to the branch. I work for a financial institution. So we're coming together and we're going to give a presentation on what we're doing at the financial institution to improve our customers' experience with our services, as well as my part. I work in information security. It's going to be on how we are protecting their information, as well as tips and tricks on what they can do to help keep themselves safe online.
Do you feel like you still get nerves from presenting in front of people, either online or in person?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I know that I'm nervous because I can't eat, quite honestly.
Oh,
And I think it's because each opportunity is just a little different, and it's something that I haven't experienced before. At the bank, we have a buzz call where we give updates to the whole bank on what's happening in our business unit. A couple months ago, I was asked to be a presenter on that, and I was so nervous doing it, similar to this podcast, but it was just me speaking online for 5 minutes. It was still a little nerve-wracking. And then maybe 4 weeks after that, I was asked to give a presentation at our executive meeting, and I was incredibly nervous there also. So I think it's because it's a new something, even though there are some similarities, it's with a different group of people. That is what continues to make it a little nerve-wracking, which is a good thing, because that means that whenever you're experiencing something that really makes you go, oh, I'm not feeling so great, that's where you're growing the most.
Mhm.
If you don't experience that angst or the anxiety of the speaking opportunity or whatever project you're working on, you're not growing from it. It's something you already know. It's kind of like me making banana bread. I make banana bread every fall, and it's no big deal. I can be on a Zoom call and make banana bread. That's how easy it is. So I'm not growing from learning that or working that recipe, but when I do a new recipe, then I need to really pay attention to what I'm doing and not multitask.
Right. I still get nervous. Well, I always had stage fright since I was a kid. I wonder if for some people it's also a personality trait. It's not just, if you practice, the more you practice it, the better you get. And I've actually heard that there are musicians out there who still like get terrified of performing in front of hundreds or thousands of people, even if they've had many years of experience. So I think for some people it's sort of a personality thing and you carry it with you, but it's the courage to do it that we're accomplishing, is the courage to get up there and try it again, and keep going at it.
Exactly. It is bursting through that self-imposed veil that we put on, which says, oh, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm not ready. Oh, I think I'll pass. And it's really pushing through that and tearing through it literally sometimes, and still doing it. I grew up in the backwoods of Louisiana, between Alaska, Texas, and Louisiana. And in Louisiana, they have a saying that says, just back your ears and do it. And it comes from when horses are getting ready to attack you, they'll actually put their ears back all the way on the back of their head and just plow forward. And sometimes that's literally what you have to do. At the end, you look back at what you accomplished, where you originally thought, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, I don't have the skills. I don't have the confidence. I'm not ready. And when you look back, having pushed through those self-imposed limitations, and you go, yes, I did it. I did it. I did it. It is the absolute best feeling.
I 1000% agree. I loved your choice of words for your introduction leadership odyssey. So Melissa is currently our District 32 director, and I feel like you have a wonderful cerebral as well as intuitive approach to your leadership. I feel like you're about staying on task and getting the job done, but at the same time, you make space for people to be human and transparent about their struggles. So I'd love to know, in your leadership odyssey, what have been some of the struggles that you've experienced and the victories?
I think life is all about working through those struggles. And, the key phrase, work-life balance, is absolutely a struggle, because there are moments and evenings and days where I really need to work on Toastmaster responsibilities. And yet, even like today, I think my husband just came home and he's ready to greet me, because he just got home from work. And so it's finding the space and the grace to allow those different things to happen. Would I love for everything to be even and flow like it's supposed to, like I envision my beautiful picture that I have created? Yes, absolutely. I also know, though, that it's not going to happen that way. When I was a program quality director, there was a weekend where I had told my team that I was going to be dedicated to Toastmasters that weekend. And a family event happened that I had to take care of, and I didn't get any of my Toastmaster things done. And at that time, it was very angst. I had a lot of angst and just upset because I had committed to do something and I didn't do it. And for me, that's really tough. Working through that taught me a couple of lessons. One, it taught me to give myself space for grace, that sometimes what I have committed to do, I'm not able to do. And two, it also opened my eyes to other people who might be experiencing something very similar, where they say, yes, I can do this. And then something happens in their life, or, we all have romantic notions on what we think is going to happen, how we think it's going to go. And it doesn't always happen that way. So sometimes that's what catches us off guard is, oh, this isn't how I thought it was going to happen. And working through that, not everyone is able to do it. It's much easier to just say, well, I can't do it. I'm going to throw in my hat. It is in those opportunities, though, where we really get to learn who we are and who our team members are, and figuring out how, if you're the leader, figuring out how to help them through that transition is really key. And showing them and reminding them of the places they have been successful in a similar instance is very beneficial.
I love that phrase, space and grace. That's so good. And it sounds like you learned a lot. One of the lessons that came through for you was compassion, because
Absolutely.
you had to go through your lows. And I know for me personally, it's those lows that I'm most appreciative of, because I can connect with people because of those experiences.
Exactly. It's exactly walk a mile in my shoes. It gives you an opportunity to see the world from what they're experiencing and have empathy, and then also be able to support them through it.
Speaking of support, how do you feel like the Pathways evolution has been for you? Do you feel like that's been supportive of your journey? Having to go on to Pathways, the educational program connected to Toastmasters, what has that been like for you?
I would say, in the beginning, it was a little challenging, but that's the way change is. I did sign up to be a Pathway ambassador or emissary or something. I helped with the transition through, because I thought, well, that's the best way to really learn it, is to be part of the, hey, it's coming, let's get excited about it. I like the fact that it offers us an opportunity to really focus on some key skills. I like that we all start at the same spot. But then there are also things that I'm hoping they will eventually make a little different. For example, I love giving icebreakers, but do I need to give 8 icebreakers? And so if I've done 10 or 8 pathways, can my next one just put me on the level 3, 4, and 5, which is where you really learn the skills that the path is designed to give you? A friend of mine, a fellow Toastmaster, said, when you choose a path, think about what skills it is you want to learn. Look at your project, your level 5 projects, and decide what you want to be able to do when you finish this pathway. I found that very helpful when I have chosen a path, to think about what my goals are at that moment, or what my goals are for that path, to choose it. And that is what helped me with choosing motivational strategy and visionary communication, as well as engaging humor, because I find that I myself am not very funny. And while I'm a little funnier now than what I was before engaging humor, I find that there's still room for improvement, which is really what Toastmasters is all about.
Right. I feel like for me, Toastmasters, the Pathways program, it has been beneficial, and it's particularly beneficial for an introvert like me who learns very well behind the scenes studying. So I appreciate them having the slides and the click throughs where you're having to read through everything and research everything. That works for me because in the 1 hour meeting time, we don't have enough time to get all the mentoring that we need. We kind of just have the time to present and participate, and then afterwards get some short feedback. So I appreciate them giving like all of the details in terms of how do you develop your speaking abilities and how to become confident, and knowing what's your best approach, what are your strengths. So that has worked for me, but I'm still there's been so many changes and evolution since I joined Toastmasters in 2020, and
Mhm.
I feel like I'm very flexible because I am a millennial and we are more digital, so it works fine for us. But for other people, sometimes I do worry that it's leaving them out because they can't keep up with the new updates. Hopefully, the current update that they've just made is going to stand the test of time and it will keep people engaged.
Yeah, I hope so. It seems I like the design. I've only been in there a couple times. I like the design. I like how when I'm planning a speech in the future, I can choose an evaluator. Hopefully that person then will come to the meeting. Sometimes you ask somebody to be your evaluator and they agree, and then something happens. And that's life. It's happened to me too, where I've agreed to do a role and then an event happened at work and I wasn't able to leave my desk and attend the meeting. So I understand that it happens, but that is always a concern now, or that will be a concern now that I have when I choose an evaluator. Hopefully that person will be there. And I do like choosing them because then as a leader, I can say, all right, Tia, I've seen you do the timer and the table topics and the quiz master or whatever other roles you have in your meeting. It's time for you to step up for an evaluator. And I think many people choose to not do that because they feel that they don't have the skills or the knowledge or the insight to share with the person who's speaking. And the opposite is actually true. Everyone that hears me speak has an idea of, oh, well, that made sense, but maybe that didn't make sense. And I just didn't follow her. I didn't get it. And if those people who feel like I'm missing a point or I'm not connecting with them, if they are my evaluators, then I get an opportunity to hear a perspective from somebody that I didn't hear from before. And that's why I really like evaluations, because feedback is how we improve. And without feedback, progress doesn't happen.
1000%. The evaluations are so useful, so necessary for being able to improve. So speaking of evaluations, have you gotten feedback on your strengths? What do you think your strengths are when it comes to public speaking, communication, or leadership as well?
For speaking, one thing I'm able to do is present difficult topics in an easy to understand way, and terms and just pictures. I can relate it to everyday events. That helps quite a bit, especially in my world in information security, because it can be quite technical, and to be able to share things that are happening in ways that the audience can understand is very helpful. And for my leadership, I would say that I've gotten some feedback back. When we do the 5th project, we ask for a 360 evaluation, and those are quite long. Some people don't answer them because of the length, how long they are. However, some of the people have responded favorably. And then also, of course, I can't remember the moment, really given me tips and tricks or ideas that I hadn't thought of on how to be better. And I believe that we are all a summation of the experiences that that have happened to us up to this moment. And so while I might not be able to immediately pull on that thread, I know it's in there, and I know that the way I'm acting and the way I'm responding is a result of someone providing feedback that was meaningful.
When it comes to, obviously you've accomplished so much in Toastmasters in a short period of 10 years. You've done a lot. It's really impressive looking at it all. What has been your inspiration for, I don't know, it sounds like you have some inspirations or something you've aspired for that's motivated you to keep moving forward.
Mhm, mhm. It's really learning new things. I and meeting new people.
Mhm.
Honestly, I truly enjoy getting to meet people such as you, interacting with you, because I get little nuggets of how I would like to be as a result of interacting with other people, specifically Toastmasters. That's probably the best thing, truly. All of my meetings, I get a little bit of, oh, I liked that. I'm going to start doing that. And without it, I couldn't be who I am today or who I'm supposed to be tomorrow. One of the things I'm excited about being a member of the district trio is it is preparing me to become an executive in a corporation. And I am looking forward to the opportunity to move into that kind of a position.
Wow, that's exciting.
Mhm.
I just want to like congratulate you already. I feel like you're on your way. So I'm not gonna be
Thanks.
shocked when they announce it somewhere. I'm like not shocked. She was already on her way in that direction. So it sounds like you have a little bit of a competitive drive. Have you tried to enter into the competitions for the international speech competition? Have you tried that out before?
Yes, I did soon after. I would say maybe my first or second year of being a Toastmaster. I went to the I went through an international contest. My speech was Stop Spitting Nails, and it was ideas and tips and tricks on how to let go of the frustration or the anger that you're experiencing, which results in the saying, I was so mad, I was spitting nails. And I can tell you the reason I lost is because the winner talked about her dog. Dogs and kids win.
That's true. Yes. Yeah, it goes for movies too. Dogs, kids, old people
Yes.
too. Sometimes, oh my gosh, those movies get me too. That combination is
Yes.
lethal.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, I would love to know a little bit more on you juggling career and personal goals and
Mhm,
how you manage to do that.
mhm.
What's your, secret?
I actually have several things that I do. On the weekends, I will generally make a list of all the things that I would like to accomplish. That's what happens most often. When there are specific things that I need to do, and I know that I only have a certain amount of time, or I'm concerned that I won't have enough time,
Mhm.
then I put the things I want to do and the time I'm going to do it. Because when I put the time I'm going to do it, I know that when I'm working on that one task, that's what I'm focusing on. And all these other 10 things or 100 things that I've got listed, that doesn't matter because for this 30 minutes, I'm doing this one thing. And sometimes that one thing is sitting on the couch with my husband. Sometimes that one thing is going for a walk in the woods near my house. Sometimes that one thing is creating an area report or a speech. And it is thinking about what is the most important task for that day and using the method that's going to help me get through that. Most weekends, it's just a to-do list. Here's what I want to do. Does everything get done? No. Would I like everything to be done? Yes. But I imagine in your life and in the audience life, there are more things that you want to do than there literally is time to do it. I truly believe that whatever you believe to be true is true for you. And as a result, when you create that list, when you believe that you're going to be able to do most of it or complete the top 5 things, you'll be able to do it without problems, without any hindrances, because you've already set the path. You've already created the vision. You've already essentially accomplished it in your mind when you have decided that you can do it. And unfortunately, deciding that you can't do it happens also. That's what I like about the list because it is my way of saying this is what I can do. And I like to focus on what I can do and what I want to do versus what I don't want to happen. Whatever you think about is what you bring about. And when you think about all the stuff you don't want, that's what's going to happen.
It's a winning mindset. That's what you were talking about, your winning mindset, or what helps you to build a winning mindset. And I am a firm believer 1000% in writing your goals down, or writing whatever it is that you want to accomplish, because it's the first step to getting it in your head and just remembering to stick with it, or committing to it is just writing it down. It's such a simple task.
Exactly. And I also find that writing it down kind of stops the monkey mind. When I'm just trying to remember all the things that I need to remember, or all the things I want to do, it seems like it's an infinite loop. Oh, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this, remember this. And that's all I get to do is remind myself to do this. Whereas when I put it down, when I write it down, I don't have to worry about remembering it because I can see it right there. And my mind can think about something else.
Well, Melissa, you have given us so many special gems in this that I feel like we can end the podcast here and end it with you giving your final advice to either prospective Toastmasters members or to people who are on their journey for personal and professional growth.
One thing to remember is, as I said, we have this romantic notion of how something's going to be. For example, when I retire, I have a romantic notion that my husband and I are going to buy a fifth wheel and just travel around the United States. And it's going to be full of sunshine and butterflies and sunflowers. Wow. I'm certain also that we're going to have thunderstorms and rain and all kinds of flat tires along the way. What you do in the moment when the flat tire happens has a lot to do with how successful your romantic notion is. And by seeing it as an opportunity to learn a lesson versus, oh my gosh, how could I let this happen? You know, why didn't I think about blah, blah, blah? By switching the thought and thinking about the benefit of the event happening and being grateful for the event happening because you're learning a lesson to help you tomorrow, it will make the journey much more fun. And believing that you have the ability, you already have the confidence, the capability, and the skills needed to transition whatever it is what's happening. We simply have to let all of those things come to fruition. Let them out. Let our mind see that there is a solution and that there is something good that's happening in the moment, even when we have a flat tire and it's raining.
Those are some beautiful final words for the podcast. We are going to go ahead and end it there. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Tia, for asking me.
All right, everyone, I hope you have a beautiful day or evening, and you will see the next time we upload another podcast. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.